I was scrolling through the dark web one silent night, just out of curiosity, looking through shady forums and strange marketplaces, when something caught my eye. A listing that almost felt like a trap yet looked so perfect that it froze my breath for a moment. The title read, "Fully Furnished European Countryside House, Lifetime Deal." I clicked it. The page loaded slowly, showing dimly lit photos of a massive stone mansion sitting alone in the fog, surrounded by leafless trees and overgrown grass. Inside, the house looked like something from the 18th century. Wooden floors, chandeliers dripping with candle wax, velvet curtains, and antique mirrors reflecting soft golden light. But what made my hands shake wasn't the pictures, it was the price, only €500. The description said, "Immediate transfer. No documents needed. Buyer assumes all ownership and responsibility. Keys will be provided digitally." I knew it was sketchy, but greed clouded my judgment. The seller's username was Caretaker01. His profile had no reviews, no details, just one warning line under it: "Do not inquire about previous owners." I thought maybe it was just a game or a scam, but curiosity burned stronger than fear. I sent him a message through the encrypted chat. He replied almost instantly, "Payment first. Keys and location will be given immediately after." I asked where the house was. His response came after a full minute. "Northern France. Hidden place. Not on maps. You'll find peace here." Something about his tone felt off. Still, I transferred the money in crypto, expecting to be scammed, but instead, I got an email within seconds. It contained GPS coordinates, a 3D digital key file, and a short note. "Whatever you hear at night, ignore it. And do not go down the basement stairs after midnight." I laughed when I read that last line. I thought it was some kind of horror-themed joke to scare fools like me. But I decided to go. A week later, I drove deep into the French countryside following the coordinates. The road ended miles away from the nearest village. Fog blanketed the fields, and the trees stood like tall shadows whispering in the wind. And then, at the very end of the narrow path, the mansion appeared, old, magnificent, completely abandoned. But the front door creaked open as if it had been waiting for me. Inside, it looked exactly like the photos. Every piece of furniture, every painting, every detail matched perfectly, but everything was coated in dust. It felt like someone had left only hours ago but also centuries ago at the same time. That night, I set up my camera and recorded everything for proof. I joked in the video, "Guys, I just bought a dark web house for €500. Maybe I'll be haunted tonight." I laughed at my own stupidity, but as midnight approached, the laughter stopped. The candles I lit began flickering violently, though no window was open. The temperature dropped suddenly, like invisible ice was melting into the air. Then, from somewhere deep inside the walls, I heard a sound: slow, dragging footsteps. It wasn't a house settling. It was something moving. I tried to convince myself it was the pipes, or maybe rats. But then came a second sound, a child's voice humming an old lullaby. It was coming from the basement. That's when I remembered the message: "Do not go down the stairs after midnight." My throat went dry. The humming grew louder, then turned into soft giggles. My flashlight flickered, and I saw faint footprints forming on the dusty floor. Small ones, leading toward the basement door. The lock that was there earlier was now gone. My heart pounded, but my curiosity got the better of me again. I opened the door. Cold air rushed out, smelling of wet stone and decay. The stairs spiraled down endlessly, darker with each step. My flashlight beam trembled as I descended. The walls were carved with old Latin words I didn't understand. Halfway down, I heard breathing, heavy, slow, right behind me. I froze. The sound stopped when I turned. But in the corner of my eye, something moved, a shadow that didn't belong to me. When I reached the bottom, there was a large mirror standing in the center of the room. Around it were melted candles, all still warm. I saw my reflection, but it wasn't matching my movements. I smiled when I didn't. I stepped back, terrified, but my reflection stayed still, staring, grinning wider. its teeth darker than human. Then I heard that same voice again, whispering from behind me, "Welcome home." I spun around, nothing. When I turned back, the mirror was empty. My reflection was gone. Panic hit me like electricity. I sprinted up the stairs, hearing dozens of footsteps chasing me. I slammed the basement door and locked it. The piano in the hall began playing by itself, soft and sad, like a goodbye. I didn't sleep that night. When dawn came, I packed everything and ran outside, but the fog was so thick I could barely see the car. I drove fast until I realized something horrifying. The GPS still showed I was at the same coordinates. No matter how far I drove, the distance didn't change. When I looked in the rearview mirror, the house was still behind me, following, as if the landscape was looping. I blacked out after that. When I woke up, I was lying on my own bed back home. I thought it was all a nightmare until I checked my camera. The footage was there, every second of it. But the last clip was different. It showed me asleep in bed, recorded from the corner of my own room. Someone had filmed me. I checked the dark web again out of fear. The listing was gone. The seller's account had vanished. But a new post had appeared under my own username. New property available, perfect condition. No questions asked. And attached were pictures of my house. Now, every night around midnight, I hear that same piano playing somewhere distant, even when I'm miles away from France. And sometimes, when I look into my bathroom mirror, I see it. That same reflection, smiling faintly, waiting for me to come home. So if you ever find a cheap house listing on the dark web, no matter how beautiful it looks or how small the price is, don't click it. Don't message anyone. Don't even look twice, because some houses aren't built to be lived in. They're built to trap souls. If you enjoyed this terrifying dark web story, make sure you like, subscribe, and share before midnight, because the next time you scroll the dark web, that same house might just appear again, waiting for you.